Adam, your thoughts on what's happened with Willie Rioli this week?
Yeah, really disappointing. Obviously, we're working through it as a club, getting a bit more facts and, speaking to all the stakeholders, and we'll make a call on Willie's future next week or so.
Will you have a direct say on that in terms of presenting to the board, for instance? Will you be involved in the decision-making process? I'm guessing obviously yes, but how much so?
Oh, I don't think we've judged on levels of responsibility who makes the decision. I think it'll be done together. So I think they might have had a meeting this morning, the CEO with a few of the stakeholders, and I'll be having further conversations the next couple of days, talk to the players, see how they feel, and then also understand we've got a game to prepare for as well. So it can't be that big a distraction that we take our focus off where we're at in our season, but we do need to get some clarity on how everyone's feeling.
Adam, can you see why some people in the community would be thinking that Willie, as talented as he is, has probably used up all his chances? Can you understand why some people would say it wouldn't be a great look for the club for him to continue on?
Yeah, I can understand that, but obviously we have empathy for the situation. He hasn't been under our wing for 2 years almost, so it's hard to really grow and develop someone when they've been away for so long, and that's self-inflicted. So we also understand that, and he's made a mistake. So we need to weigh up all those decisions and then make a call.
Are you willing to forgive that mistake?
Well, it's not up to me, it's up to the club, so I'll be part of that discussion, and I don't really want to divulge my personal opinion until the time's right.
Would you like to see him back, and would you like to coach Willie again under you?
Well, I think everyone would, but there's limits as well. So we're a pretty empathetic industry. People make mistakes. It's just to what level, and we think we've got a really strong culture. It's not built off one person's mistakes. But we've got to keep working on trust, and having him around is a different situation as well. So we just haven't seen him for so long.
Can you trust him again, personally? Do you think you'll be able to trust him again?
Yeah, that's up for discussion. Personally, yes, but that doesn't mean I represent the whole club on that position.
And when you obviously got a personal connection with me, like you do with all your players. You went up to the Tiwis, you toured up there, you met his family, those closest to him as well. Did you feel, not personally attacked, but did you feel really personally let down when you heard of the news?
Look, it's personally, I have empathy for what's Willie's dealing with, but also I have understanding of the severity of his actions. So there's a balance for me.
It's been well reported over the years that certainly there's been issues with the Tiwi Islands regarding alcohol and drug abuse. In fact, at one stage it was claimed that children as young as 10 were smoking cannabis in the community. Can you just take me through what given the Asara investigation, it was known that he was using cannabis. What steps were taken by the club to address that drug issue with Willie while he was in the islands?
Yeah, there's not much we can do as a football club when he's suspended for 2 years and there's no contact allowed. So that's where his family is. Obviously, there's some issues with the cultural differences up there, but that's beyond our control.
But did the club, were they in regular contact with him?
Of course we were, yep.
Did they take him through those sort of issues and try to work?
Yes, yep.
Sorry?
Yes.
You did? Can you tell us what you did?
Oh, I don't want to necessarily go into details because it's ongoing. It's daily, weekly. It's education. It's understanding the environment, and it's probably a little bit more personal than perhaps a conversation you and I should be having.
So he certainly was made aware of trying to address that problem, that cannabis issue as such.
Yeah, I think I've just said that.
You came out in court the other day that he's been to, I think, more than 40 funerals over the past few years. How much do you take into account, I guess, the mental toll that he's been through, the culture and everything like that?
Yeah, that's all part of it, I suppose. Like I said, we haven't been able to see Willie. We can talk to him, but seeing his environment and what's going on it's a different situation. So it's so unique, really, to what we're all experiencing. His upbringing's a lot different than ours. But he's made a mistake as well, so we've got to acknowledge the fact that that's happened, and we'll work through that as a footy club in the next week or so.
Adam, you built such a good culture here at the club. Do you think if you did get another chance that you'd be able to create an environment where you could thrive? again and really overcome these?
Well, if that's the case, you'd hope so, and that's the decision we need to make, for sure.
Have you been able to speak to Willie over the phone? Have you been able to, how was he? I mean, Craig.
He's devastated. Yeah, he's very remorseful, and he understands the position he's put himself in.
In terms of the playing group and trying to earn back their trust if he does stay on, how hard do you think that will be in trying to give their word? And obviously, as you mentioned, you say he's devastated. How hard is it going to have an honest and serious conversation with him when he's in a potential situation like that?
Yeah, we need to make a decision first as a football club where he stands. So we haven't really got to that position yet. So every player would be feeling different with their relationship with Willie. And like I said, it's been quite distant for a couple of years. So we'll work through that in the next few days. But once again, I know this is probably a lot about Willie, but we've got a game to play as well. So finding the balance for us to get everyone's opinions, make a decision as a club. Players' input's really important. The stakeholders, how they all feel, the AFL as well. And then once that's all collated, we'll make a call. But we need to also understand there's a game this weekend.
Sure, I mean there's a game, but given the issues that the club had before you arrived, this seems to make it be a pretty big decision that will be made in the next few days.
That's your opinion.
Well, is it your opinion? You're the coach.
No, it was your statement. That wasn't the question. What was the question?
How big is this decision? In your time of being at the club, in putting some perspective, how big is this decision given what went on at the club before you arrived?
I see them as two completely different situations. Yeah, I don't think Willie Rioli is connected to the past. So, and I think our culture's shifted, it's pivoted a little bit. I think you'd agree with that. So we're talking at one individual who's dealing with a serious issue.
Craig Vozzo said on Tuesday that the club was alerted became aware of the charges on the Monday. A journalist has reported that in fact she contacted the AFL and the club on Friday. Why the discrepancy?
Yeah, I was informed after the game on the weekend that there's been a media report that there's may have been an incident. We were unaware. So I think the question came from the media first before we actually found out we hadn't spoken to Willie, and it took us the weekend to really get a hold of him. So post game, I was informed there was something going on. So it took us the weekend to find that out.
But if the club was informed on the Friday, why did it take so long?
Well, it was the media that informed us. Right. So we've got to find out some facts behind that, don't we?
Oh, okay. So the club waited a few days to find out.
No, we got straight onto it, but we couldn't get a hold of Willie until the Tiwi Islands is hard to get in contact with Willie. Yep. So it was held from us from his point of view. So we had to work through those things. So by the time we found out it was post game, I don't think it's that big a deal.
Adam, you say that there was efforts put into addressing some of those issues. So I'm talking specifically about the cannabis use. The welfare support people that behind the scenes would have been working with Willie on those sort of things. Do you feel let down by them?
Sorry, I'm not with you. I can't understand your question. It's rambling a little bit.
Are you happy with the welfare support people that have been working with Willie over the last 2 years?
Yeah, we've been unable to have direct contact with Willie. It's been quite difficult from a club point of view, but we've put as much support as we can around, and education's been a big factor of the whole situation.
No one from the club has had any contact with him?
Yes, we've had contact, but he can't be at the club, so because of the suspension.
Oh, but did you send someone up to the Tiwi Islands?
Yeah, a number of times to work through his case, yes.
Adam, the August 20 availability date, is that still in play at all, that he could play this season, or do you think it's gone?
I don't know. The AFL, look, this is quite early to work through all this. So I don't think we've had feedback from the AFL just yet. So we need to see what their position is as well.
Did you say you were expecting to make a decision on Willie's future in the next week?
I thought so. We need to get together and, finalise some things and get some feedback from the rest of the football club, and then we'll make a call, I'd say next week at some stage.
How do you go about protecting the player groups that they can focus on this weekend's game?
Well, they're pretty good at the moment. It's like I said, we haven't been with Willie for a long time, so it's business as usual, really. And obviously, there's a bit going on at the moment, and we need to have conversations with the players. But it is in season. It is a distraction that we don't need, but it's distant at the same time. It just hasn't been in our face for a while, so we'll work through that.
And you went with Willie to the Tiwi Islands. Can you paint a picture of what life is like up there, the people, the culture?
It's a beautiful island with beautiful people that a really loving community, and that's all I saw when I was there, and a lot of respect for the Rioli family.
Justin Langer, Adam, with selection, what did you learn out of main training this morning as far as who's going to be available?
Yeah, everyone at this stage that trained should be available. So Barras and McGovern look like they might be okay. Josh Kennedy did some laps, but did the first couple of drills, so that's pleasing. So we'll make. I'm not sure when the team's due today. Okay, so we'll have to put something out this afternoon, but it's a bit hard because it's a Sunday game. So at this stage, most guys are putting their hands up.
Does that include Liam Ryan? Or is that
No, sorry, Liam and Shannon won't play this week.
In Adelaide, without Walker, how much different will that be in your opinion?
Oh, we'll just prepare for them at their best. You know, they're young and enthusiastic, and they have a good crack. So their intensity around the ball's really impressive. So that's our challenge.
They've dropped off in recent weeks. Have you been able to put your finger on what's changed with that?
Oh, look, they're a younger side. I think their best is pretty good, and they've had patches where they've lost momentum. So, and we're not too dissimilar to that ourselves. But they've been a bit younger. It's probably happened a little bit more often than usual.
Is that
With
right?
Barris and McGovern coming into the selection squeeze, I guess, does come. Does Harry Edwards find his way out? Is he the...
Maybe, yeah, we'll work on that. It's match committees after this afternoon. So, yeah, look, I mean, I think if McGovern and Barras do come in, then there might be a bit of a squeeze, but we are considering playing all three as well. We've done it before with Schofield, so we'll see what comes out of that.
And Vardy, I imagine, still another week away?
I think so, yeah. Yep, the plantar fascia.
Any chance it might be a little longer than a week? Or
Don't know. No, we'll see how he goes. At this stage, he was pushing for this week, but we pushed it back at least one. So we'll see how we go.
In terms of ball, Adam, since the Geelong game, you've gone plus 15, plus 17.
Yeah.
Have you had like an increased focus on that, or what would you put that down to?
It's hard to train it, but we've been better in the last couple of weeks. So it's always been a focus of ours to get better at that certain stat. Like when we win it, we go pretty well. So we do understand how important it is. It's just it's not been consistent for us. So yeah, nothing's changed too much. But we played 4 quarters most weeks the last couple of games. So that's been the important part.
I was down there occasionally, but did you get any wise words out of Justin Langer this morning?
Yeah, he's been dagging around for 8 weeks. So he's a board member, and he's been a great resource for us from a leadership point of view. There's a lot of connections with the two sports, and he's been. You've missed it a lot. He's been on the track almost every week. You just haven't seen him. So he's been a great resource for me, for our coaches and our players as well. So it's been tremendous to have him around. I think he's looking forward to get back out in his life though.
I imagine with JL that we've been through follow the sandpaper stuff. It's not the same as what's happened with Willie, but it was a stressful situation for everyone at Cricket Australia. He's probably pretty handy to have around in this situation.
Yeah, loosely yes. Yeah, dealing with the controversy he did when he came in after that. How do you indoctrinate a player back into the system is something that we spoke to him about with Willie, so and with the players. So it's not just get a player back and away you go. You need to start to rebuild the trust. So yeah, had good conversations about that.
And just back on that Willie one, with the fact that he was sort of isolated for 2 years, was this kind of always your fear in the back of your mind that you couldn't have him with the support that you have set up here, pushing him away, well not you guys, but the system pushing him away? This sort of possibility was always up in the air?
Yeah, I mean, let's be clear, it's self-inflicted. So, but the fact is he lives in a different state, and the inability to stay connected has been quite challenging. So, and with the remoteness of where he lives, that's been a challenge as well. So, yeah, no doubt if he was living in Perth, we have a bit more contact, but he can't be at the football club while he's under suspension.
Would you think the system might need to be looked at, whereas if a player is suspended like this, they can still be within the club, just not play? Like,
I don't know. Look, it's so unique. This situation, I know there's questions galore, but it's just a unique situation. I don't think it'd be repeated. You know, it's that random. And having empathy for the situation is important, but also understanding of the law and the facts and the trust. That's all there as well. So we're trying to get a balance of both.
There's a lot that goes into it. It's obviously a call on a young man's career, his future you want to support, and you've got a challenge as well. Has it given you sleepless nights at all so far?
Oh, look, you live it. So, you know, there's you care about your staff and your players, and, you know, no one's perfect. But there's also, we're a football club as well, and we represent a lot of people. So trying to do the right thing by them is important as well. So trying to find that balance is our challenge, and we've made pretty good calls in recent times. I think our recent history is pretty good on how we treat our staff and players and our culture, and we definitely don't want to lose that. And I don't think this will affect that.
And what do your senior players and your leadership group think about Willie's situation?
Look, I haven't spoken in detail, but I would have thought they're indifferent with their opinions too. So there are challenges for them from a trust point of view, but that's understandable, isn't it?
Thank you.
Adam, the crowd, just one on the crowd, 100% capacity.
Is it?
That's a
Beautiful.
Your thoughts on getting a full Eagles contingent there?
Great. Let's get 55,000 and 100 Adelaide Crow supporters.